Welcome to a comic book look. We got issue 54, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. This is your #1 comic book TV show. The Midwest representing for the whole entire world. And thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have a great show today. My name is Tom. I got my spectacular man of action here, John Runyon. And we're going to be dominating tonight. An excellent show.
Excellent. That's so clever. You're good at this. Man.
Oh, God. I'm not the pun master that my boy is.
Goodness.
But yes, we are doing Avengers versus the excellent X-Men. And
fabulous.
It is the big event at Marvel. 12 issues plus a 0, so 13 issues. It hasn't came all out yet, but we have 1 through 10 that we have read. So we're going to just talk about what we've liked about it so far, and give you the whole A versus X treatment.
Exactly. Therapeutic for us in some ways.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you ready to do this, John, or what?
Absolutely.
Of course he is. He's got the beard of the lips. He's ready.
Ready.
So what? Avengers versus X-Men. He has picked it up as it came out. So he's read it every couple weeks or every 3 weeks as it came out. I have burned through it in the last 24 hours.
And if you actually did burn the issues, I'd be okay. Spoiler. Go on.
But no, I read them all in like the last day. He dropped them off at my night job the last night, and I tried to read as much as I could all the way up until right before taping. I finished number 10, and so I'm fresh on it. So it was a little bit probably different read for me because I had it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Some things at Marvel just don't really change.
Mm-mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean by what I'm saying? I don't know. What I kind of mean by that is just like, we got the same kind of villain, same kind of thing happen, and same thing. I've been away from a lot of this stuff, and then I come back, and it's nothing really changed. I don't feel like I missed anything. But, it is what it is. It is kind of what I would expect. Do you want to give us a rundown of what A vs. X is, or?
Sure. Well, A versus X, it's kind of a big cornucopia of things. So we start out with the horrible logo of it because it's on every single Marvel issue out there. And that's the big version. Then you have your diet versions on all the other titles that you read on a monthly basis. A versus X in a nutshell is effectively the mutant community versus the some of the mutant community and the Avengers and other superpowered beings that aren't mutants at all. The Phoenix Force actually flies into town, and Iron Man whips up a magical suit that's capable of destroying cosmic legends, shattering it into 5 things, so the Phoenix inhabits 5 X-Men, 3 of which have fallen already, and we'll get into that later, but lo and behold, 2 remain, and it's kind of a shell shocker as to who they are.
So who are the 5 that get picked though?
You got your Colossus, Magic,
Sister Magic, so we got the brother sister, Colossus and Magic. Good old Namor, the outside man of the X-Men.
Yeah. Emma Frost. Oh, Emma, baby. I'm so sorry this event happened to you. And then Cyclops.
Yeah.
Do I need to say more?
No, you don't. Slim taking charge.
Slim Shady. No, but in all honesty, the event as a whole, we'll kind of get into the nuts and bolts here, but basically right now it's kind of curving a little bit where these noble intentions of the X-Men are suddenly becoming a little bit twisted because the Phoenix, per history, as we know, will influence its host in a very bad manner and will lean towards the more dark side of things. So you can imagine when I started liking the event versus, when it started. So, yeah. But it has its ups and downs, and I think that's what we'll talk about tonight. We might have some differing viewpoints on it, but
for sure,
I do remember talking about some of the earlier issues, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what you thought of them.
Well, I mean, one big factor that we haven't talked about yet is Hope. This all revolves around Hope.
Oh, yeah.
Summers, which is, Cable raised her. She's the mutant messiah. Any powers that are around her, she can absorb, or not absorb, but use those powers of the mutants around her. And everybody has always picked that the Phoenix Force was going to come into come in and overtake her and use her as the host. And then that's when it didn't go to her, you know, it went to these 5. It's still been this big struggle between the Avengers and the X-Men, where Hope's going. She still holds the power because, I mean, if she's in close to the Phoenix Force, she can use the Phoenix Force. Yeah. And so, but she doesn't really know exactly how it all works. But, you know, I liked Hope. I liked that Cable series coming into this. You know, it started cool. But, you know, after you read that much and you know, you're that invested, you would think that more things, I don't know, as much as how many things are happening, you would think that more things are, I don't know, going to be more played out. Like, I feel like, you know, we have Avengers versus X-Men. At first, it's all, gotta fight the Phoenix, gotta fight the Phoenix, gotta fight the Phoenix, yep. Gotta argue with the X-Men about where the Phoenix is gonna go. The Phoenix comes, and then it's the X-Men cure the world, but the Avengers still hate them, and the world's supposed to be looking at them as good. But they don't really play that out long. All of a sudden, you know, the X-Men are fighting amongst themselves, and the Avengers are fighting them. I mean, it's not like really cool. Really, you know, it is definitely Avengers versus X-Men at its most basic that it could possibly be. And so, you know, I guess I haven't been that impressed. I definitely think it's just a droll series with a lot of, you know, information that you don't need. They're doing this thing where you have all the architects are writing this. So you have Brian Michael Bendis, Jason Aaron, Matt Fraction, Jonathan Hickman, and Ed Brubaker, all writing different issues. So they're having to piece this whole story together where each issue is like from a different voice. Because these writers are all great writers in their own respects, but they're having to put this together so you can totally tell what's coming down from editorial, what needs to get put in there. And, you know, that's just kind of something that, as me trying to read a lot of indie titles, you know, you just don't get that, where you totally get that. You know, I don't know, that's my little...
Totally. No, I completely understand where you're coming from. And I've, you know, how do you want to do it? Just kind of go through the issues, or...
Sure, let's kind of, yeah.
Not necessarily specific
each
issues,
one,
but as the event unfolds kind of thing, I suppose.
Totally, so... We'll start with Zero. I mean, you know, this is kind of just sets everything up. This is a Zero issue, great cover, and you know, you have Frank Cho art, which I really like. A lot of people thinks, you know, loves to play those girls looking really pretty. So a lot of people think, but I still really like him. I really like his clean style. But it introduces the Scarlet Witch. She's like the only thing that the Phoenix Force is scared of. So then it is kind of good to have her in here.
Oh.
I mean, now in issue 10, we'll get to it, I guess, but other things are scared of the Phoenix Force as well.
Right.
But, you know, kind of a good setup here.
Yeah.
You know, you have Wolverine's in between, Hope's kind of in between, Scott's still trying to be the nice guy, but still being his normal dick self, and I'm talking about Scott Summers as in Cyclops. You know, still okay though, right, John?
I actually, this is one issue that I did like, because I think it was between Zero and then Zero and then the Avengers Annual or whatever.
Okay.
That play between Wanda, Vision, Magneto, kind of that reunion, you know, after House of M went down.
And that is totally about it. She goes to the Avengers mansion, and then, you know, Vision is like, "Get out of here! You're not welcome. You were my wife, and you used my body against me."
Exactly.
It was really
so I thought that was cool. That was one thing that stood out about issue 0, I believe.
Yeah. So definitely, and so let's jump into first round 1 and round 2.
Okay.
You know, what did you kind of think of these, or you know, how did they go?
I remember calling it. You know what I mean? This is something where Marvel put out that annual, put out issue 0, and people get amped, and they're like, hell yeah, you know, you got your characters from all sides just coming in, oh my god, there's consequences for past actions, we have continuity just flowing ever so plentiful. But then you start getting into the actual event, and it's just kind of like, what was the point of that? Why is this happening? Kind of thing. I started falling off, I believe, at some of these earlier issues, to be honest with you.
Well, you can definitely tell during some of these earlier issues, you have Captain America and Scott Summers making a lot of decisions that you can tell are made to move this plot, not what even really their character would do.
Right.
You know, they're trying to keep on arguing each other. They never are like, you know, just, I don't know, would do. They're both extremely smart leaders.
Yeah.
They would be able to work it out a different way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I totally agree.
I agree. And then, I mean, 3 and 4, I pounded these. They all run together to me.
Yeah, no, they really do.
And so I don't really remember everything on this one, but this is Brubaker and Hickman, and so this is Captain America and Wolverine fighting, it looks like on the cover, and then Hope running away.
Yeah.
Is this one...
I thought one of them was like where the scene with the airplane, where Cap and Wolverine were in the plane and Cap kicks him out of the plane.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Arctic,
Yeah.
Beer, so forth and thing. I believe.
Yep, that
was a very prominent scene, and I really like that.
Yeah, that actually was pretty cool.
Which is kind of mean.
Yeah, so what happens is they're like, Wolverine, you're too close to this or whatever. You can't be a part of it. Boots him out in the Arctic, and then that's where you see Wolverine has cut out the inside of a polar bear, and he's wearing it still bloody carcass over it, and he's you know, just being badass. And so it is it's pretty awesome right away, right from the start. That on that kind of like story, he meets Hope, she's feeding him beer. But then, you know, that's just like one really cool part in this nonsense that's happening. And there's no really reason that Hope is in the Arctic, I guess, to get away from Scott and everybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna time out there because you did mention a keyword with, you know, what we're doing this evening. That was badass. And right before Skylar emptied Benny's locker, he did mention that he had read kind of a badass book.
Nice, that's right. So Skylar has his segment for you, Indie Comic Deluxe.
Welcome to Indie Book Deluxe. Today on Indie Book Deluxe, I have Godzilla, The Half-Century War. And this was written by Stoko. James Stoko. Failed you again, Tom. The nerd rage is coming. This book, quite a lot of fun. The art is incredible. It's the same artist that drew Orcstain, if you're familiar. It's a lot of fun. Tom switched me onto it, read a couple issues. That book is just so much fun. But this guy, the artist on that book, these pages they look so cool. There's these big spreads, and it's just Godzilla fucking up Tokyo. It is just hilarious. But at the beginning, they have this, it's almost like a newsreel. Japan, 1954. Which I thought was really interesting because that is the year that the original Gojira came out in Japan. And it brings it back to its roots, you know, kind of pays homage to the original story. But the story is really kind of lacking in this. Basically, this guy decides to look for adventure by sitting on top of a tank, and that's when he gets his first taste of battle. His first real taste, which is with Godzilla, and then, you know, this is just kind of the introduction to that original story, the first time Godzilla came in through Tokyo. But, these pictures are just so amazing with Godzilla just stomping through Tokyo, destroying these impossibly tall buildings, and the tank hardly comes over his toe, you know. It's just this huge size Godzilla. He didn't really shift sizes much, which disappointed me a little bit. You know, you gotta stay true to your roots, but at the end, you know, they come back, they need someone. Godzilla might be coming back, and I'm just praying it's Mechagodzilla. That would make my day. This would probably be my favorite series if they did, but since it is just Godzilla, I'm not sure if they've done it in comics before, but it's just kind of a tired story. We can leave it alone, you know, try something new in comics. It's always fun to do something new. So I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of a 6-pack, and those 3 beers are only for the art. It's just all 3, perfect score on the art, no score on the story, because the lines, the expanse of the city drawn out, just beautiful.
segment, Skylar.
Very, very.
Dude,
awesome.
I totally wanted to get that book because I love Orc Stain. So even though Skylar's disappointed with the story, I haven't read it yet. I will just totally be probably getting all 4 issues because I love Stoko. And so anyway, thanks Skylar for that awesome segment. Back to the business at hand. A versus X. All right. So now we're past like this humbum that's happened at the beginning. You know, half of the Avengers have gone off and try to stop the Phoenix Force in the outer space area, and the other people are fighting the Avengers. I mean, the X-Men on Earth. Phoenix Force comes, breaks into 5 people, and creates the Phoenix Force 5.
It's like a Breakfast Club with tights.
Oh God!
With accessories of the bird sort. What is that, avian? Is that the right term?
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, we went over those characters already on who they were. And that's when we're starting to get into the issue where we're at now, which is like... Oh, yeah, here we go.
See, they all kind of just...
Yeah, they do. They all look the same.
Yeah.
So, like, 5, 6 is... this is when it actually happens at the end in 5, and then 6 is when it's, like, all about them.
Yeah.
7... they're like just like beating, or they're taking over.
Yeah, they're just kicking the crap out of the Avengers.
And they're making the world a good place.
Yeah.
You know, so
kind of double-edged sword.
So Black Panther is like having that. Black Panther and Beast are both like, you guys are not doing anything wrong.
No.
So I don't know. Then we get into 8, 9, and what kind of starts happening in 8 and 9? Something that John likes, and it starts with E and ends with Vil, evil. And so what do we got here, John? Kind of take us down
the Phoenix Force finally. Yeah, exactly. The Phoenix Force finally decides, you know, Marvel's made enough money about, you know, the good stuff, so let's kind of just turn up the heat a little bit. I mean, I am a bird of fire after all, so why not do some cooking in the kitchen, if you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I don't know what that means. It's stupid. That was retarded. Anyways.
Should've just went with that.
Let's play it smooth.
Pew pew!
Like
Stormtroopers, flow.
Anyways, the ranks start disintegrating, you guys, and by disintegrating, I mean, we got, Hawkeye getting burnt to charcoal.
Oh yeah, that's right. I don't know why it's such a big deal. This is who's saying this. I think Emma's saying this. I don't know why it's such a big deal that he's burnt to fire. Because I can just heal him. He's still alive.
Yeah.
I can do anything.
Oh my god, not a big deal. Emma, you bad girl. Anyways, the ranks really do start disintegrating, though.
Oh, yeah.
Namor just goes on this death rampage and decides to send, a tidal wave of wrath at Wakanda?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, that's going down. The divided ranks goes even in the core of the Phoenix Five, because Emma, of course, is finally... You're making me so proud, Emma. I'm so happy about this. You have, like, this alternate agenda, and I'm going to pretend like it's not the Phoenix Force, and that it's actually you saying, I don't want to be with Scott Summers because he's a Sally Sue. So, I'm all about that, you know?
Yeah, and she totally gets it down with Namor.
Yeah, and, you know, that's elaborated later in issue 10, but in issue 8 or 9, I believe, she said, you know, Scott, please save me for what I'm about to do, kind of thing. And I was like,
oh,
get him. Because you remember
nice,
that?
Yeah, nice foreshadowing. I didn't really catch that as much as...
I remember that scene just because I love Emma.
Yeah, I saw Emma.
We're going to go shopping someday. It would be awesome. Anyways, so Namor's fire effectively gets extinguished. Distinguished, whatever.
Extinguished.
I can't talk. Namor's out of the picture, you guys, unfortunately. Round 9? Spider-Man saves the day, and I was on an episode of Comic Talk with Captain Cummings and the guys, and I joked, like, I like this issue because Spider-Man got beat to a pulp. Spider-Man did apply his wit, however, and made the siblings, Colossus and Magic, beat the crap out of each other and took each other out over who was more powerful, or something as simple as that, which kind of cracked me up a little bit, but Spider-Man cracks me up, period, so... that was interesting to see him play such a pivotal role after having such a shitty movie this year.
He did have a shitty movie, but yes, it was like, he sent the rest of the Avengers home. He said, I'm going to handle this, guys. And he talked to Hope before about how, you know, even though we're on the same team as Hulk and Thor, and, you know, you may think that, hey, what am I going to do when these guys are around? Obviously, they can handle any situation.
Yeah.
You know, there's that time when you have to step up and be an Avenger, and it was supposed to be the big moment of him being an Avenger by using his wit and, you know, his smarts and talking to Colossus and Magic to get them to start arguing and fighting and like cancel each other out.
Yeah.
And I mean, like in paper, it was a pretty good idea, but I mean, I don't know. It just
They messed him up though, man. I mean,
Yeah.
blood was sopping out of his. Oh.
I still didn't really care that much. It was like he was fine. At the end, he made some stupid comment like, "Oh, I feel like I'm a
big pile of goo.
Yeah, I need to sit in a big pile of goo." I was like, this is stupid. But you know that's just personally me. I do see where the overall story could have been, good.
A little bit better. I wouldn't have minded seeing the two siblings duke it out maybe a little bit too, because it was just all based on assumption like, oh my god, good job, Peter, blah blah blah. So I think that I kind of get the principle. It's like that Highlander swagger,
Yeah,
one falls,
totally.
and then the power goes to the other four, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, the Phoenix, I feel like it's being, one, misused, because this is the stupidest way
Totally
I've ever
misused.
seen the
Phoenix Force 5,
powers.
so stupid.
It's beyond stupid. And two, it's the fucking Phoenix. I mean, come on, like, this is the stuff you watch that 90s cartoon. The Imperial Guard is a chess set for this person, and the fact that the Avengers are holding their own just makes me laugh.
I know.
Like, I don't get it at all.
They're not holding their own. That's the whole thing. Is like these X-Men, if they wanted to really do it, they're like, we could kill them at any second. It's like, yeah, you could. Why do you keep on punching them?
Yeah.
I don't know. It in case they can control anything.
Yeah.
Lands that were desolate, you can grow crops there. No energy places. Giant places with energy.
Yeah.
They've created all these great places. They could take care of the Avengers at any time.
Yeah.
Emma can sense any person in the whole entire world at any time with her heightened powers.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's so stupid that is what's happening, and they're supposed to be fighting, because obviously as soon as the Phoenix got into the Phoenix Force 5, they would be able to take over anything.
Yeah.
And then it would be end of the story, and then the story would be done.
Yeah.
So it's just, I don't know. Don't like how they're portraying a lot of different things, and I feel like a lot of characters in use of the Phoenix are just to move the story, to give some.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
It really is. So let's talk round 10, because
Okay, yeah.
that issue was finally something that actually did
things change.
something for me as a reader, and I can't really put my finger on it as to what it was.
Well, it was because they introduced this whole new element of the Iron Fist, and the Iron Fist legacy, and it being a part of a dragon, and actually taking on the dragon at one point. And so then the dragon, they realized, or Cyclops realizes that, this thing may be able to actually hurt him.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, that was actually talked about a little bit in the new Avengers, the crossover stuff, a couple months ago. I stopped reading it just because I was like, I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, I don't want to know the backstory of the Legend of the Dragon that counters the Phoenix, because it's crap. Because where was it the first time around?
Yeah.
So I kind of didn't tune into that. What I did like about this issue is just kind of the kick-assery of the whole thing. Scott Summers got served.
Yeah, oh, totally, yeah. He sure did.
And I'm totally okay with that. Hope finally grew a pair.
Yep.
Right? Iron Fist tried to stand up to the Phoenix, and obviously that didn't go so hot. But it was kind of a relief for me. I'm not vouching for this event at all, you guys. If I was to rate the event just based on these 10 right now, it would probably be a 2 out of 6 beers for me. Just because there have been a few good parts, but by far it's been a money-making, full of nonsense, characters, reps, and character legacies just getting shat on.
Yep.
By, whatever decision power has been behind this story. And I have no qualms with the writers behind it, the artists and so forth, but the Phoenix 5 just ruined it for me in a nutshell, and that's just kind of how I feel about that, I mean, how did you take the event as a whole? I mean,
yeah, so issue 10 ends with Scott and Emma going to face off, and so then, that's going to be the end of it. You're going to call it good. There's going to be one left, and it's just going to be stupid, and it's going to end in 2 issues, and nothing's really going to happen. Everything's going to come back. I don't really care about what has happened. Marvel Now is happening, so all this doesn't matter because they're starting over at number 1 with new storylines for everything. And, you know, it's just... I would rate this, if you gave it the rating of 2 beers, I would definitely give it 1 beer. On overall, art started out really good. The Kubert art wasn't as good, but, you know, I just definitely 1 beer. It's just, even the little parts that are good, those little parts from your writers that are good, they do not make up for this giant, massive event that should be a one clear storyline, is told by 7 different things, or 7 different people, bunch of different artists, and just running the treadmill. Just running the treadmill of Marvel ideas. Yep, let's throw some Phoenix in there, let's throw some X-Men in there, let's throw some Avengers in there, you know, just switch it up. And it never really does anything. And, I mean, it is just so boring. It's so boring that it looks like John doesn't even want to pay attention to what I'm saying, and he just wants to read his other goddamn comics. You want to read them so bad, John? You know where to do it at.
Alright, absolutely. And this will be my segment. We're going to call it Kick-Ass Comic. Thank God. Hey guys, John from A Comic Book Look here at Sign John on Demand. You guys know the drill. Still fly, still hot, sexy, drinking my Guinness, wearing my shades, and reading kick-ass comics, which is what my segment's about today. I have touched upon the border of controversy. Skylar's emailed me about 5 death notes so far, death threat notes, about what I purchased today. Hot off the shelves. Definitely wasn't on my pull list, but I saw it. Our eyes met each other. And it was just love at first sight. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like that first date kind of feel. You know what I mean? Light a few candles, pour that wine. I had some wine last night, so maybe that's why I bought this book. Rorschach #1, guys.
Blasphemy.
Oh my God! Wow. Let he who sinned first throw the first stone, or whatever. Wow, we're getting to some levels here. Okay, but you guys. We talked about this series starting, and Tom is beyond not happy / mixed about the whole thing. This is my first one picking up. I mean, these have been coming out for a month or 2 now, but this was my character in the movie that I liked, because it was just such a neat character. The issue, Brian Azzarello, Lee Bermejo, hats off to you. I'm not even wearing one, but if I did, I'd be doing this to you, because... This was just such a fun rendition of the character. I opened the page up and I see blood and knives on flesh, and I mean, this is my kind of book. I promise you, in real life, like, I can't watch shows like ER, Nip Tuck, and so forth when the medical bloody scenes are on, but, you know, and here, like, when it comes to comics and stuff, I like some of the darker stuff. I don't know why, it's weird, but this book just drew me in right off the bat. They're carving a message on a dead female. Creepy, different, but what a way to start the book. The artwork is just really cool. Like this cityscape, the way that the lights just pop, that's kind of like how I do some of my designs in Photoshop and stuff. I like the dark with the light pops on there. Some people do it the other way around. Some people don't do it that way at all. This page really did stand out to me, though. I thought it was gorgeous, to be honest with you. Rorschach as a character, just kind of an interesting guy. There's this dude watching adult movies. You see the pants of the guy getting unzipped, the girl's on her knees, yada yada. Rorschach busts in, says, "Ain't it a bitch to be you?" Messes him up, gets some info on where the bad guy is at, the crime boss or whatever, in the sewers. Rorschach goes to the sewers, gets his ass kicked, blood's flying. Rorschach is vulnerable. He is human. He has limits. And I feel like this is something that a lot of comic characters lack these days, are limits, in terms of sometimes they're super powerful and sometimes they super suck. And this book really delivered to me. I mean, I will definitely be rereading this again. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I understand that there's a lot of controversy about, Alan Moore's understandably upset, that they're doing these renditions and so forth, but I really think that my main goal was to make sure that this did carry the quality that it deserves, and this one definitely delivered. I haven't read Night Owl or any of the other ones. I don't really plan to personally, but I did want to check this out, and I definitely recommend you guys checking the series out. At the end of it, Rorschach makes his way to the diner, you know, he's all bandaged and messed up and stuff, and he just says, they made the biggest mistake because I'm not dead. That's kind of a badass character right there. Like, I'm a big fan of that. So it's just nice to see someone that has those limits, but they kind of push themselves to continue to be a kick-ass individual. That's what I'm about. That's what we're about here at Comic Book Look. So if I were to rate this issue, I would definitely give it a 6 out of 6 beers. Rorschach, you can have them all. And I won't share with many people. So...
Dude, nobody knows exactly what happened in this issue at all. But, you know, we ran through, we told you kind of what's going on. You know, I think overall we gave you the ratings. We didn't like it.
No.
More bland comics from the biggest creators and the biggest artists and the biggest publisher. That's not how our comic industry should go. So, no, I definitely rate A vs. X as a poor failure. Hopefully there's some new life coming from Marvel with Marvel Now. You know, I'm always optimistic. You know, at least I always try to be. You know what I'm saying, John?
And I totally agree. I mean, I wouldn't say that I was looking forward to it. I'm also not really sure if I'm looking forward to that X-Men reincarnation coming up that we've seen pictures of with the old team. Because that's just what we're doing, Marvel, is we're just bringing the dead back, kicking the dead horse over and over again. And at a point, you just gotta wonder, why am I spending this money to hear the same crap?
You are.
You know?
And that is what a lot of people will have to choose. And I think the numbers show that as
A versus X headed.
A versus X hasn't been talked about as much. And
no.
I don't think it has been big. After the failure of Fear itself and, like, you know, this event after event after event, you know, people have started to run down, and I think it's shown with these. I mean, they're still selling a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're just not selling as much as other events have in the past.
And it's not getting as much buzz.
Yep.
Agreed.
I would say, you know, even though I think they are shit to anybody, to me and you know, we're talking comics. If you're watching this and you've lasted this long, you fucking like comic books. And so, you know, me and you, I want you to know you shouldn't read this. But the one redeeming quality that this has is that person that hasn't read comics, that person that knows a little bit about these characters, that person that just wants something big in action and loves, you know, just the mainstream generic stuff, is going to not mind this book. When they pick it up in a hardcover, they see all 12 issues, they read it, they're going, oh man, this is kind of cool, dude. Like, you should have seen it. Wolverine just got, like, blasted. All his skin just, like, came off and it just, like, healed up, dude. It was crazy. You know, that's the kind of thing they would say when, you know, that means nothing to us. And, you know, they'll say, oh yeah, it was crazy. You know, Namor, he, like, was in the water the whole time, and you know, it's just like,
want to
I don't know.
medal for the team. What a big shit.
Dude, it was just like, he looked like Michael Phelps.
Oh my god.
But I'm just saying, you know, that I can see the redeeming quality as in, if you gave this to someone, they may like comics. And so, you know, hopefully it brings in some new people. It definitely is geared towards, if you're also like a 16-year-old boy, 15-year-old boy, you probably like it as well. I mean, there's some sexy-ass girls in there that they like to really show up. Yeah. And, you know, because that's how Marvel Comics does it. And, you know, maybe gets you into
DC
comics.
does it too, shut up. Starfire, come on.
Yeah, okay, I get it. And
Baywatch.
And Catwoman.
No,
but I mean,
she's conservative.
You know. But, I mean, that would be definitely its redeeming qualities. I think you could give it to somebody who hasn't read a lot of Marvel Comics, who was interested, and they would like it. They honestly would. They wouldn't notice the art change. At that point, you don't notice when a new artist is on there. You don't notice when a new writer's on there. If you're just reading, you don't really know what these changes are. And, you know, but as seasoned vets as us, you know, I would definitely suggest against it. Yeah. So yeah, A versus X, that's the A Comic Book Look official opinion. So let's get that junk out of the way and get into some most exciting news for A Comic Book Look. Our A Comic Book Look, we're, you know, obviously you guys know we're the best comic book show on the internet, hands down. every Tuesday, InveteranteMediaJunkies.com is when we air our issues. We issue it like a normal comic book series. You know, you get your new issue weekly. We roll deep, not like monthly like these chumps who have to draw. You only have to tape this in Riverdale Studios. So, you know, we're taping every single week but we're going to bring you something extra. And I want my main man, John, who I'm so proud of for doing this, to tell you all about it.
Guys, Comic Book Look, we are going to be expanding the channel here, and just so that you guys know, all it is, honestly, is an expansion of what we're doing right now. Obviously, the beer still flows, and the good times will roll. A Comic Book Look After Hours, we're going to be focused on interviewing with comic book creators of all sorts, also comic book enthusiasts, and just kind of, be it a one-on-one, or if Tom or Skylar drops by on the interview, awesome. Anybody is welcome. If you guys are interested in having a chat and would like to be on the show, absolutely just send an email. You guys know the drill. comicbooklook@gmail.com. Again, we're still rocking it out. We're still doing our comic book look thing. We're just adding a little extra something for you on a weekly basis. And personally, I'm very excited about it.
Dude,
It'd be a very good opportunity to double up and have fun with it, you know?
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just excited to watch you. I mean, you get to see John. He's going to try to put it out as much as he can. So you're going to get more comic book look. But plus, what you're going to do is John is going to be interviewing or talking to somebody, usually one-on-one, in the comic book business, in the comic book, you know, fandom, about comics. And it's just going to be able to be a one-on-one show. So if you are that creator watching us, you know, get at us. If you are that comic fan that you have something to say, or you have a good topic for John, you know, drop him a line, and you know, he'll get at you right away. You know, and you know, obviously his calendar is already filling up, but hey, calendars run deep for a reason. He can pencil you in coming up here. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch.
Exactly. So we'll throw the logo up here, and it'll be awesome. But definitely just a lot of cool things coming up for Comic Book Look. Stay tuned. The channel, it's only going to get better. We are still rocking it out. Issue 54?
Exactly.
I mean, issue 50, that's awesome. Yeah.
A versus X, issue 54. Great.
Definitely.
We're rocking it. So, you know, remember, if you ever have show ideas, comments, concerns, you want to hit at us, a comicbooklook@gmail.com, Facebook group, a comic book look. You can always send fan mail or packages that we can open for John, You Got Mail, or other things for the show at Riverdale Studios, 1412 South Riverdale Road, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, 57105. And, you know, we want to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Inveterate Media Junkies, IMJ Nation, baby. Represent.
Exactly. Well, you guys know the drill. Keep it, you know, just keep getting those comics. Let us know what's hot and what's not in your stack of the week.
Dude, he totally faked you out. He said, keep getting those comics.
They were used to it. You know they said it, too. They probably said it.
All right. Better drop it like it's hot.
I will drop it like it's hot. So, wait. Gotta wet the whistle. Keep it comics.